25. Let's go back to that. You're 25.
Yeah.
Yeah. You've had a baby. How old's Kyron at this point?
So he was about 6 months old when I got the pub in Lincolnshire.
You see a pub?
Yeah.
Worked in a pub before?
No.
I think that says it all about you, doesn't it? So I've not worked in a pub before, and I just saw one, thought that looks all right, I'll go and get it.
Never run a business, let's give it a go. So yeah, stepped straight out of my comfort zone into the middle of the Lincolnshire.
What did your husband say?
Yeah, well, because he worked away like 2-3 days a week. 2-3 times a month, 2-3 weeks at a time. He just said, do what's best for you. I can, instead of driving back from London to Sheffield every day, I can drive from London to Boston. So that's what he did. On a Friday, he'd finish work, he'd come to see me in the pub at Boston, and then we'd spend the weekend together. Then Sunday, he'd go back to work. Yeah.
So how many years were you in the pub?
So I was in the pub for about 4.5 years. And
it was quite a long time then.
Yeah. The first year, we juggled everything quite well. And then it was about a year into the pub that me and Adam actually separated. We started just drifting apart because he'd got his life and then I'd got my life. And he's the complete opposite to me. I'm very loud and like confidence boost. He's very quiet unless he's had a drink. But yeah, he's very quiet and very tame. So he wasn't into the going behind the bar and serving and pulling pints and like just general customer service with people. He didn't really talk about it.
You
so
have to, you know,
you've
a lot
got
of people
to
don't
have
realise
it. Gift of the gab.
Yeah, if you've got a pub and you've got something like that, you have to be a unit. They need it to be able to run something like that. So it is a very testing thing.
Yeah, so
it
tested us, definitely.
The relationship started to break down when Kian was around 4.
Yeah, Kyron.
Kyron was around at 4.
Yeah.
And then was this sort of coming to the end of the pub lease then?
Yeah, it was, it started doing really well for itself, the pub. It went from earning such a low amount of money to quite big, and then the company sold it to private investors. They then doubled the rent, tripled the lease, made it practically impossible for me to carry on.
Yeah.
I was still quite naive, so everything that I'd earned in the first 3 years went back into the business for the next 2 years to keep my head above water, because I just believed that I could do it still. And yeah, the money, same amount of clientele were coming in, but there was times 3, times 4 going out.
Standard thing, the better you do, the more they take.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So we had to... I had to say, right, what's done is done, let's go back to Sheffield. So I set up, while I was still in the pub in Boston, because I was dressing chair covers and doing balloons for people's parties and stuff.
Right, let me stop you, because again, I know this. Right? You are one of these people, are you not, that goes, why would I hire somebody in? I can do that myself. Did you go on YouTube and go, right, I'm just going to do that?
Yeah, no, do you know what? I've got this really weird eye for detail where I can look at something and know how it's put together and know how it's done, and I'd rather try it myself than sit there and watch somebody else fiddle about with doing something.
And they don't do it as quick.
No, definitely not, and I get confused and get my arms all tangled up and things. So, yeah, I literally come out of the pub. Well, I didn't. While I was in the pub, the last 6 months of the pub, I started just dressing chairs and doing, like, just dressing the room, because it was a beautiful, massive conservatory on the side. So we started dressing it for weddings and stuff. And, like, looking back now, I think my angels were trying to pass me a message to do weddings in the pub, but I took it the wrong way and left the pub and come back to Sheffield.
It was all part of your journey.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And then that's when my balloon and events business started, which is Celebrate and Create.
Yeah, so you've got Celebrate and Create.
Yeah.
You've come back to Sheffield. You've got your little boy.
Yeah.
When you didn't have your little girl, obviously, by then.
No.
So, then what?
Yeah, well, one of the main reasons, I forgot to point out why I've come back to Sheffield, I suffered like a little bit of exhaustion and mental breakdown because I suffered a miscarriage. I had a miscarriage, and it kind of messed with my head because the baby was planned and stuff. So. And
do you think this was? This was with Adam?
Yes.
Do you think that's sort of part of maybe the breakdown?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because like I just didn't have like the moral support and things that I felt. I don't really speak if I'm upset. I'm a very, believe it or not, quiet person.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't really shout. I went into a little bubble. I just went into a bubble on my own, and I just realised that like there were certain things I wanted to change about my life. And I felt like the pub had gone from being really fun to we're doing so much myself, doing 70-hour weeks and things like that with like a 5-year-old little boy. I just thought, it's time to leave now. It's time to fly the nest, and that's when I come back to Sheffield,
It's really brave of you to recognise that, though.
Yeah.
So a lot of people can't recognise it.
No,
that's
it was hard. It was so hard because I had like a mental breakdown. I'd made loads of money, then spent loads of money to keep my head above water. So I was in a bit of like a confused, mixed frame of mind, really.
So you didn't know whether to be resentful, to be happy,
no.
to be grateful, to be where you
totally
wanted to
confused
be.
again. I felt like I went back to basics and like where you're going to be now and what you're going to do now, Chantelle. So
it's one of those sort of standard things of self-pressure.
Yes.
And as well, like with having a baby, you didn't give yourself any time.
No, I didn't, and I did kind of partly blame myself for the miscarriage as well, because I was so like focused on making the pub work and making everybody happy that I was forgetting about my own general health and stuff. So it took a toll for the worst. But
No,
I were all right.
Yeah, good. You know that, and you were. And the thing is, you've done this so much on your own.
Yeah.
You should be.
I mean, I'm thankful now because, like, obviously, when we got past that and I moved back to Sheffield, I had to have all the testing to see whether I could conceive again because there was a lot of scarring on the inside.
Crikey.
So then that was a sheer shock that I might not actually be able to conceive again. But then I got the all clear, and then 6 months later, I was pregnant straight away again with little Sienna Rose. My little rainbow baby.
Isn't it? Oh, don't you make me cry now, crikey. And you know, sometimes, and it is horrible, and it's awful to even think about. But these things in life, they test you to then make you go.
Yeah.
I'm going like this.
Yeah.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Cool.
Thank you.
You should be so proud of yourself.
Yeah.
So we get to this point where you're back here.
Yep.
Sienna is Adams then?
Yes, correct.
But there's a bit confusing.
I forgot to say that I didn't get back with him. After two years of splitting up with him, we got back together when I realised that I was coming out of the pub, because we didn't actually fall out of love. It was just the change of lifestyle. So we obviously reconnected 6 months before I come back to Sheffield. And that's when I fell pregnant and then miscarried immediately. 12 weeks pregnant I were when I miscarried. And then I come back to Sheffield and then, built Celebrate and Create Up, which is like the balloons and stuff.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So that then obviously opened up your eyes to creating a room and creating an atmosphere and creating a party. Party girl.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And to be able to like see a blank canvas and then me go in and just put my ideas together with all my clients' ideas to become a reality. I just realised like I was born to do that job. Even my nana and my mum, everybody said to me, you have always been sat at a table, drawing, painting, putting crafty things together. So when I got Celebrate and Create, everybody wasn't surprised. Exactly. They were surprised when I took a pub, but not surprised when I set up a creative and balloon events business.
Amazing.
Yeah. So.
Did you do this from home? Where did you do this?
Yeah, so I did it. I was working from home to start with, but while I was, it was weird because when I come out of my pub in Boston, most of the places that I was dressing in Sheffield, where I used to come drinking before I moved out of Sheffield. Yeah. So then a gentleman approached me from a local bar around the corner and said, do you want to just come and manage me the Players Lounge, Chantelle? So I said, yeah, why not? I've just come out of a pub. I didn't mind doing it. So through the pregnancy of Sienna, I was like managing another local bar, but it was just a bar. So I was managing that, and it was like a local sports bar. So then I reunited with all my friends that I went to school with and everything, and I just loved it. I realised that I loved it in Boston, Lincolnshire, but I realised that if I ever wanted a pub or anything again, it'd have been in Sheffield. And just managing that while I built Celebrate and Create Up while I was pregnant. Yeah, I literally...
You don't do things by accident.
No. Well, I come out of working at the Players in February 2016, and then I opened Celebrate and Create on February the 10th, 2016.
Wow.
And then I dropped my baby due to emergency cesarean on the 22nd of April.
Right, there you go then. Yes. That's that journey. Did you ever sit down at any point? No.
Oh, even in my hospital bed when I'd had the C-section, the midwife come in, she says, I can't believe what you're doing. And my two best friends were dressing my other best friend's wedding while I was on FaceTime. Sarah, that chair bore to your right-hand side, just tweak the ball for me, please. For 3 hours, I was on FaceTime making sure my staff did the job correctly while I was sat in my hospical bed.
You got baby there,
yeah,
again. It's all right. It's all right.
7-hour-old child next to me. It's all right, daughter. Mummy's just working. Pick her up, feed up, put her down.
I love it. Do you know what someone once said to me when I was pregnant with my first little girl? There was, it's going to change your life. It's going to change your life, and it put the fear of God in me because I was like, I don't know if I want my life changing that much. And someone said the best thing ever. They went, make your kids fit around you.
Yes.
Right? And that actually was the best advice ever. And that
totally
looks like
agree.
what you've been doing. And they gain so much more from doing that.
Well, my little girl, I mean, she used to come to work with me. I went back to work, I shouldn't say this, but after 3 weeks of having a cesarean, I went back to work because I just got that much planned. I needed to get back.
You can't delegate, can you?
No, I can't. I like to do as much as I can. Because I know it gets done properly then.
But it's having that faith in other people to know what they're doing. There was a point though, wasn't there? And this is like where I think again you're so strong and you're so incredible. In that there was sometimes when people and some family members that said, you can't do this.
Yeah. Oh, I had that all my life. Like, not just from family, even from teachers from school. Amount of people that said, you'll go down wrong path when you're older, you'll do this. The pub that I took in Lincolnshire, all my dad's side of the family doubted me because the pub was owned by my uncle before. He rented the pub and he got into a lot of difficulty with it. So everybody's, why have you took this pub? It didn't work for him, it'll not work for you, but it did work for me. But then that caused a bit of a clash between family, which unfortunately I don't even speak to half of them through now because I've tried to make ends meet and tried as I can to be as nice as possible. But there was a few hiccups and hills and roundabouts as to they didn't agree with. And it turned into just a massive argument one day in the pub around my little boy. And the police got called and everything. I had to say, I don't want them near me. They're coming in and causing trouble in my home. What is my son's home? They viciously attacked me while my son was gripping my leg.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, like 1 year old, 1.5 year old. So I just says, I'm done. I'm done. I've been told all my life I can't and won't. And I just decided that enough was enough. So
as soon as you did, they didn't like it then either?
No, that still never made them happy. But I just say some people are always happy and some people are always miserable. And I can tell the difference between the two now. I'm older and wiser.
Yeah, exactly. Happiness vampires, I call them.
Yeah, exactly.
Every single time.
Yeah, and to be fair, since I've let go of certain people around me, I've not been dragged down as much. I'm not half as I was depressed and upset every other week. I'm not like that anymore.
So doubting yourself?
Because you doubt yourself when somebody tells you you can't do something. You doubt yourself a lot, but then when it's working for you, mentally and physically, you can see the benefits you're getting from it.
You're thinking, what's going on?
And people are telling you how good you are at something, but then you've got other people that are doubting you. It's just like, I hate the words can'ts, won'ts, don'ts. There's certain words that I will not use with my children because I'm just like, no, you can do anything you put your mind to, like anything. I'll lift them up so much and push them to the limits and just try and inspire them as much as possible, really, because I never really had that. My parents and my family were always just let us plod along and be who we want to be, but I like to be pushed and challenged and do this and do that. So that's what I found was my kind of way of living, really. Step out your comfort zone and chuck yourself into something and see where you go with it.
Push those boundaries,
yeah,
lady.
Definitely.
Push those boundaries.